Hey guys, so I've just finished round 2 at the Asian Chess Championship here in Al, United Arab Emirates, where I'm playing as one of the lowest rated players, but yesterday I defeated a strong IM from India who is rated like 450 points higher than me, one of my best games ever. Check out the previous recap. And today I played another person from India, but this time it's a grandmaster. It's actually a young guy who used to be a #1 player under 11 years old in the world. So he's a child prodigy. Now he's a little bit older. He's recently made a GM title, and yeah, very strong player, very strong young player. But I was not shying away from the fight, and it was a very interesting game. You will enjoy it. So let's dive into this. I was preparing for my opponent, and I knew that he's playing the Sicilian defense mostly, and against the Sicilian I like this knight c3 setup, and he likes playing d6 here, and I like playing the Magnus Sicilian. So this is the Magnus Sicilian. There is a video on this channel on the Magnus Sicilian. Check it out. Google search in this channel and you'll find the video. It's an interesting setup. The idea is that he attacks my queen and I drop back to d2, and then I go here, I put my bishop on the long diagonal, and then I castle long. And most players with black pieces castle short. They do like something like g6, bishop here, and castle short. And we have an opposite side castling, attacking possibilities for both sides. Crazy creative attacking games. I've won lots of games in such a way. So he goes g6, I go b3, and at the top of the chess world, actually, the most topical line is now bishop h6. Amateur players will never play this. This is not very like intuitively obvious, but it's one of the best moves because the queen is attacked. You have to block with f4, and then there are players who go f5. This is some computer line. Very topical. I know a bunch of theory in it. There is another one with knight f6. Actually, my grandmaster coach, who was the guest of my podcast on this channel as well, Farukh Manarov, he played this against me in a blitz game, and we drew it. Grishuk, I think, by the way, also played it against me in the podcast. Yeah, so knight f6 is also very topical. But instead of going bishop h6 or bishop g7, which is another very popular move, very logical one, my opponent went e5. Probably he wanted to get me out of my prep. And e5, I've never seen this move. It's a normal move, but I didn't know what to do, and now I entered into something. You see by my time usage, actually I was a little bit late for the game because I was preparing, and I was 15 minutes late for the game. And now this is the moment I started thinking, and I thought for several minutes, and I came up with the move f4, which is one of the computer recommendations. So the idea is that I knew that if black goes here bishop h6 first, and then after f4 e5, I have knight b5, and white has an advantage. So this is a vulnerable pawn on d6 already. There is a significant advantage for white. So e5 is not good here. You should first play either f5 or knight f6, and only then e5. So I decided if he goes e5 first, I can go f4. Because bishop h6 I'm not afraid of. I have knight b5. This will be a transposition. And if he doesn't have bishop h6, what else does he have? He has nothing. Yes, he can take my pawn, but you know, I'm a King's Gambit aficionado. I like gambiting the f-pawn. And it's okay if black takes. I will not even have to recapture, even though it's possible to recapture, but it's okay. I don't need this pawn. First I go knight f3. It's actually the top recommendation of the engine because I want to prevent this check, which is also common in the King's Gambit. So he goes bishop g7. He puts pressure on this diagonal. I of course go bishop b2. Very normal logical moves. Top engine choices, but it's not hard to find. They are very obvious. Here he goes knight f6. Now he's threatening to take this pawn, and if I recapture, he will capture the b2 bishop. So of course I castle long to not allow this. Again, top engine move, but very obvious, and he castles short. So I found several top engine moves in a row, but it was not hard because the position was like playing itself. And suddenly I've outplayed my opponent. He already started spending some time, so he was out of his prep. And I had a nice position at this point. I'm almost +1 according to the engine, so very big advantage to have after just 10 moves against the grandmaster. So not bad, Greg. But this is the point. You can guess that this is the point where it went sour a little bit, to say the least. So here I was considering taking this pawn. Actually, I could have done it even earlier, but I didn't want to give him activity. I calculated some variations like this. Knight g4. Now there is a threat of a pin, and the queen will be lost, or some other material will be lost. So here I calculated king b1, and I thought that he has several moves. Probably he has this, for example. It's actually, the engine says that it's one of the best moves for him, but still white is better according to the engine. So I should have taken this pawn, but I decided this pawn is not going anywhere. I'll first go king b1, and if he goes knight h5, trying to hang on to this pawn, which is the top engine choice, I didn't like this position for him. I thought that his king side will sooner or later I'll go g3 or g4. I'll make him take this pawn and open up the h and g files for my rooks, and I'll attack him. And you should remember that when you have opposite side castling in a position, you don't care about the pawns, you care about the attack. You need to get to the opponent's king first before he or she gets to your king, because the kings are on opposite sides, so you can throw pawns, pieces on your opponent's king. So that's the idea. So I would be happy to see knight h5, and he's also not materialistic. He's a GM. He knows that material is not that important. Piece activity and attack is more important, so he's not hanging on to this pawn. He's not going knight h5 to protect it. Instead, he goes bishop e6, trying to develop, maybe put the rook here, queen here, knight here, attack down here. This is all standard. This bishop may open up after knight g4. These are the standard plans in this position. And here again, I could have taken this pawn, but I didn't like something. I thought knight g4, I think. And yes, I can take another pawn here, but he goes here, and then knight b4, again with pressure on the a2 pawn. The engine, of course, says it's like I'm stupid and white is better, white is up a pawn, but I decided the pawns are not going anywhere. Instead, I want to get active, and I want to create other threats. Knight g5 is the move I chose, which is not the best move according to the engine. I've lost my advantage. Now it's back to equal, but the idea is logical. I want to take his bishop. Once he recaptures with the pawn, I'll go bishop c4, put pressure, and he will still be up a pawn, but I will enjoy a two bishops advantage, which is very important, especially if the position opens up. My two bishops, sorry for the poor quality of arrows, my two bishops will be menacing here. So of course he doesn't want to allow this trade, so he goes bishop g4, but now I've won a tempo. I've won a tempo because he spent two moves to get his bishop to g4. So you know, I know how to play xiangxi. It's the Chinese Chinese variant of chess, and there the bishop moves only two squares diagonally. So this is like the xiangxi bishop, the xiang. Very, very, very funny stuff for people who have no sense of humor. So okay, knight f3 was the top engine choice here, but I'm not an engine, and moving your knight backwards is not logical. I decided, of course, I'll just trade the bishops here. It's okay. I'm still putting pressure according to my evaluation of the position, which is wrong. Apparently, this was a mistake, and now, well, not a mistake, but an inaccuracy. Now black is a little bit better. Already like tiny advantage for black. My opponent started outplaying me. But then h6, he made an inaccuracy of his own, because I could have gone knight h3, and I was considering this move, trying again to take this pawn. All this game, I was trying to avoid taking this pawn, which I should have done, because this would have given me some advantage. But of course, he had knight h5, for example, defending it, or g5. But with g5, for example, I can go knight f2 and then push the pawns and open up the files. So this is what the engine likes. But somehow I didn't just like psychologically want to put my knight on the edge of the board, because as you all know, probably the knight on the rim is very dim. This mnemonics. Don't put your knight on the rim. All coaches tell this to you, unless there is something concrete, and I didn't see anything concrete here. But the engine is merciless and says that I'm stupid, and knight f3 is an inaccuracy again and again. Black is better after it, because black now goes rook e8, puts pressure on my pawn, and black is still up a pawn. Yes, I have some compensation. The d6 pawn here is rather weak. This is a weak pawn, but black has good activity, and black is already in the driver's seat. So here I go rook e1, overprotecting the pawn, and now he goes knight g4. I saw this move, but I cannot do anything to stop it, actually. Of course, h3 is not a happy decision. He can just take, for example, and then push d5. Even this is possible. And yeah, or he can like go here also. h3 is not the move that you want to make. So instead I go rook here and he goes here. And here I entered the deep think and I thought, what do I have? He wants to go knight e3. Can I stop it? And I decided actually, like I did not want this, but I decided that I have to go knight d5, and the engine approves. This is top engine move, but I'm still worse. And here's what I calculated. Bear with me. I calculated knight d5, knight e3 nonetheless. I'm taking, and before he takes back, he can take my pawn. So knight d5. First he takes here, then knight e3. I take his knight, and then he goes rook takes e4, the pawn, because the knight is pinned. And once I move my queen away from the pin, he can capture. I capture, he captures with the pawn, I capture back with the queen, and this is the position that I had in mind before playing knight d5. So you see, I do some calculations sometimes, but I didn't like this position, but I didn't see anything better, and I went for it. And it's absolutely correct. I actually forgot there's also a check, the queen check in this line. I forgot to mention it. So once I check, he first takes this, pinning my knight. I remove the queen from the pin, and now he has a check. I drop back, and then he takes, and takes. And I had this position in my mind. And I thought maybe I have some compensation for the pawn. Yes, he traded some material, but the h6 pawn is hanging, the d6 pawn is potentially weak, and maybe I can launch an attack on the king side, so it's still opposite side castling. So I thought this could be possible, something like this. So I was not too optimistic, but I thought I have some chances. And the engine says, I do if I play like an engine, but it's very hard, of course. So here... by the way, queen takes e3 is forced because I cannot take this pawn because e2 wins the game. If I take the queen, he'll take my rook with check and queen. So I have to take this dangerous pawn. And now his h6 pawn is hanging, so he defends it with king g7. And now my opponent starts playing like an engine. So he goes, I go g4, trying to create some counterplay. And actually, if he does nothing, it can get dangerous for him. For example, if he wants to push this pawn to attack me, I go here, he goes here, I go here. This is what I calculated. Takes. His queen now has to move, and his queen is serving an important purpose, defending, protecting the king on this diagonal. And once it moves, I have this diagonal check. And once the king moves, I have rook h1, and now I want to infiltrate. And I have some attack, even though the engine would defend this with black, but still I have some chances. So this is what I wanted in this position. But after g4, instead of going a5, he did something else. He started trading pieces. Very professional. He's a GM after all. He knows that if you are up material, he's up a pawn, you should simplify, go into an endgame and win the endgame. And unfortunately, I have to trade the knights because otherwise my g4 pawn will fall. So I have to capture, and he captures with his pawn. And now his weak d6 pawn becomes a strong passed e pawn. This is a dream scenario. You had a weakness, now you have a strength. Just within one move, this transformation occurred. And now it's very hard to defend. Probably practically it's close to losing already. I tried to be active, I put my rook here, and if he is passive, like tries to defend like this, I'll be able to take this pawn, and I will have some chances, even though still the engine says that these pawns do not help me. But instead of going passive, he goes active. He goes rook a8, which is a great move. And once I take, he goes e4, and he starts pushing his pawns, and one pawn for the time being. And I realize I'm in a trouble. I'm in a pickle, because if I go here, for example, rook d8, and I'll just get checkmated. I drew some arrows for you guys. So I cannot go pawn grabbing. I have to reactivate my rook, bring it back to defend, to blockade the pawn, but he has queen f3 now. And I cannot trade, of course, because then the pawn will just march with the rook and I'll lose. So instead of trading, I have this check, but he just drops back. And unfortunately, I cannot even trade the rooks and try to deliver some perpetual check, because he'll just go here and promote the pawn. I no longer have any checks. And in queen endgames, here we have equal material, but the most important thing in queen endgames is, first of all, king safety. His king is perfectly safe here. No one can get to it. There are no checks. This queen is defending this pawn, so it cannot get taken. Other checks are impossible. And the second thing is passed pawns. If you have an advanced passed pawn, or if you have a passed pawn that is further advanced than your opponent's passed pawn, because I also have a passed pawn of my own, but it's standing on c2. It's not advanced at all. So then you have winning chances. And this position is completely winning for black, so I cannot trade the rooks, unfortunately. And there are no perpetual checks. So I have to be passive. I have to defend like this. I offer a trade of the queens. I thought that this would give me some chances, and the engine approves, actually. The engine says that this is easier to hold with white, but still it's probably close to losing, because black will push this pawn. I calculated this variation while going for this, that I can go here and yeah, my rook, for example, f4, I can check him, and actually here I have rook g4. I didn't see it from afar, but I would have seen it, obviously. So f4 is not good. He has to go here, for example, but then I can go here, and I can go here, and at least I'm stopping his pawns for the time being, and I can push my pawn. And already the engine says that black still is better, but white has some chances to hold, to make a draw. So instead of capturing on d1, instead of accepting my transformation into a rook endgame, my grandmaster opponent, of course, knows that many rook endgames are notoriously drawn or draw-ish. It's hard to win a rook endgame. So instead, he preserves the material balance. He goes queen f4. Maybe he wants to take this pawn, but most likely he doesn't care about this pawn. He just wants to push his passed pawn. I try to blockade it and drop back, but he has this move. Unfortunately, I have nothing here. Here, from afar, I thought maybe I can go rook e1, but then I realized that this is a losing endgame, because the previous one I showed you, the pawn was here, I think, and now the pawn is here, and I'm not in time. So, for example, take. I try to push my to walk with my king, but f3, and he's promoting like this, for example, and f2. This is what I calculated, and this is losing. So unfortunately, I cannot go rook e1 here. Another move that I considered here was queen b5, attacking his rook. But I calculated the winning sequence for him. Rook c8, now he's attacking this pawn, so I have to defend it. Then e2, now he's threatening to queen, so I have to go queen b4 to control the queen in square. But here, from afar, I saw the winning move for him, rook takes c2. It's not the only move, but it's the flashiest one. So if I take with the king, then he queens with check, discovered check. So nice tactics. And if I take with the rook, then he queens with check like this, and I'll just be playing rook versus queen, which is hopeless with pawns. Without pawns, it could be holdable sometimes in practice, but with pawns, of course, it's hopelessly lost. So this is why I did not go queen b5. This is why I did not go rook e1. I went queen e1. I thought that this also probably is losing, but at least here my rook, when he pushes the f pawn, when he goes f3, my rook is not on e2, so he's not winning a tempo, at least. But still, it's winning according to the engine. But my opponent did not want to go into this. He decided he'll just push e2, which is even stronger. Best move according to the engine. I cannot take his queen because he'll take me with check and be upper rook, so I have to go rook c1. Very passive, and of course I realize I'm lost, but I'm still playing on, because what if he makes a mistake? You should not resign in such positions, even against gems. But he's not making any mistakes. Queen e3 is very strong. Now I cannot even go, for example, here, because he'll just queen, and he has two pieces, I and the square. So I have to keep blockading this pawn with my queen, and the queen is not a good blockading piece. So I have no... if I push this pawn, then my king will be weak and will be subjected to vicious attack and checkmate. So I cannot even push my passed pawn. I try to do something. I go h4 to open up his king for some checks. Maybe I'm hoping for some perpetual checks, but he's very precise. He goes here. He wants to infiltrate. I push my pawn. He, of course, does not open up the position of his king, but goes g5. Very instructive, guys. This is how you should realize your winning advantage if you have one in chess. Now, I don't know what to do. I don't have anything. For example, if I go trying to get some activity, he'll just take like this and check me and have an extra rook. So I cannot even leave this the first rank with the queen. I have to stay here, and here I go queen h1, trying to make some move. Maybe in future I will be able to free my queen, but not now. He goes a5. Now I cannot allow a4 because if I take, then he'll checkmate me on the b file like this, and king a1, queen c3 will be a checkmate. And if he pushes a4 and I don't take, then he'll push a3. And if his pawn is on a3, he'll be able to checkmate me like this. I think it's called lolly checkmate, if I'm not mistaken. So I have to go a4. But this doesn't help me, of course. He goes king g7, very professional, sidestepping any checks on the back rank. Once his rook moves from it, I'm waiting, I'm moving, shuffling my pieces. He goes rook d2, I'm shuffling back. He goes rook d4. Now I go rook e1. We've made the time control, so 30 minutes have been added to our clocks, but to no avail, because my position is hopelessly lost. He can just take another pawn and march this pawn, and I'm losing. I try to go for some desperate counterplay. I go queen d5. Finally, I am able to activate my queen, maybe take this pawn, maybe dream of pushing my own passed pawn, but it's not working. He goes rook g1. Now I take on a5, protecting here, but he trades the queens, the rooks, and the queen endgame is easily winning for him. He can win it in many ways. The easiest is what he did. He just pushed g4, and I cannot stop the queening of his pawn. I tried to at least give him one diagonal check. Beautiful, right? Spite check, as it is called. And here I resigned because I have nothing. He'll just queen very soon, and I don't have any perpetual checks. So unfortunately, I lose this game. Now I'm on 1 out of 2 points after 2 rounds, but still it's a very strong tournament, and I was expecting to be crushed sometimes by stronger players. This is a part of chess improvement. I'm not giving up. I will try to get some more wins against strong players and get some rating points. So stay tuned, and please write your opinion on my perspectives in the comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.